method and structure of government is somewhat different. I couldn't find any other places where embodied in the charter was a selection process for majority or minority leader. So that's about as far as my research took me, but the more I thought about this, the more I was concerned that whatever the problems may be, and I'm obviously assuming that there's some problem or Ken would not have mentioned this, that it ought to be something, unless there's a compelling reason to the contrary, that the city council is probably best able to determine how its own majority and minority members are selected as far as leadership is concerned. And if it's not the city council, I'm not sure how the charter could dictate that something occur that is outside actually the governance. There isn't any official recognition of political caucuses in the charter or in the code. I mean, that's something that happens informally. There's no, I understand that people have political affiliations. I mean, I know I shouldn't speak the sacrilege, but there might actually come a day when there might be a party other than the Democrats or the Republicans that could have representation. Maybe there'll be a libertarian moment or some other moment. And I don't know what would happen in the event that there's more than two political parties. So these are all the thoughts that I had in my mind for whatever you want to do with it. As far as the...
Can we speak to that one, Greg? Just
sure.
a quick question.
Yeah.
One of the issues that we discussed at the last meeting was, this is only referring to selection, certification. It's not even referring to election.
Well, no, it does. Well, it's a backdoor way of doing it because
it's certified in writing that he or she was selected as majority as a duly convened
caucus.
Right.
So that would...
But duly convened as defined by whom? Exactly. So,
yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And so the issue, and then I think you spoke to this earlier, but there are no specific powers.
As majority and minority leader, there are.
As a legislative body.
Within the legislative body, there are certain times when, and I have copied them, I have them all here, I can give you some examples of the majority and minority leader. I'll give you some typical ones. When there is an ethics violation and special counsel is to be selected, the city council, president, the majority leader, and the minority leader shall each provide the ethics board with the name of one proposed special counsel when there would need to be special counsel. It doesn't necessarily give them a power per se. They're not vetoing anything, but they do have the ability to. And this is in the charter. I don't believe that this was part of what the commission proposed. I think this was added in a council amendment to this section, I believe. I have to go back and research and see. I don't believe that's the way that the commission adopted it, but I didn't go back and research that. There is provision for the majority and minority leader to fix the salary and compensation. Let's look at this thing down here, right? To fix the salary and compensation for the officers or employees in their offices. So they do have an office and they can have a staff.
So, Patricia McDowell just entered, so I just want to understand the pleasure of the group that they're wanting to hold this for further discussion. I mean, one of the things that was that we discussed briefly last time, and Steve has raised again this time, is why bring this to the charter? Why bring this to the charter commission? You know, even asking Ken, let alone the council, why they wouldn't address this within their group versus the charter. And so if that's our pleasure, we can make that decision to at least get a response from them and not move on it any further until we get that response. I'm seeing a lot of nodding of heads. I would need at least, thank you.
I just got rid of now.
Yeah. So Eileen moved that we refer this to Ken for comment, asking him why he does not refer this to the county, the city legislature, which is where, by advice, informed as council, that most of these decisions are generally made. Seconded by Steve. Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed. And we will hold the second item under Ken Jenkins until we have a gap in our guests or until the end. Tricia McDowell, thank you very much for coming. Please. We wanted to provide you an opportunity to speak to the suggestion that you made that the charter take up, and then give us an opportunity to have some questions with you for clarifying.
Okay, basically, well, I've written in the letter that I was asking the body to consider making the position of the council president one that is still voted amongst the people citywide. However, the position to become the council president should be selected amongst its peers. And the reason for that is because you have 6 other council members who are sitting there serving as city council members. And if someone who is elected, brand new, and has not served on the city council prior to becoming city council president, then this person has the task to, 1, learn the responsibilities and the rules that govern the city council. Plus, they have to catch up with any projects that we may have on the table at that time. Because as you know, once they're elected in November, you only have November and December to try to kind of catch up, and there's not enough time. It really takes approximately like 2 years just to learn the procedures of the city council. So a similar practice is done in New York City. They select their Speaker of the House by the council as a whole. And I think similar measures should be done here in the city of Yonkers.
So if I just want to clarify a question right now, you are talking essentially two things: that there would be a citywide elected official to the council, and then that would make up the 7th person in the city council, and then those 7 would then choose a city council president.
That's correct. And that 7th person could be like in your city, you know, their main role is the tiebreaker of the city.
Are you proposing that? Are you proposing that this person doesn't vote until there's a tie? I'm just asking what you're proposing. I wasn't suggesting anything.
Either way.
Okay. Okay.
And then if the person who is elected is chosen city council president represents a district, they represent that district and it's the council president as well. So they have both roles.
Yes.
So if you were my council, you'd be my council person plus the city council president
Yes.
simultaneously.
In that situation, have you given any thought to the fact that that particular district winds up with extra representation in any way, or?
Well, the council, well, right now, every council district has a council president that's over them anyway, so you're not really getting extra.
No, I'm saying that that my elected district council person now also sits as city council president.
Which is one vote.
Right.
In essence.
Okay. Other questions?
I'm a little, say that the individual who's the city